Hi, welcome to this new video. Today I'm going to speak about the flamingo symbolism that we have in Leave the World Behind. I haven't watched this movie yet. I just saw that there were flamingos, and this caught my attention because in my last video about the plasma apocalypse we saw flamingos linked to Barbie and to Messi. So I decided to go a little bit deeper into this topic. We had a first flamingo here in Barbie, just outside of her house. And here we have again two flamingos, this time depicted on each side of her heart. We also saw Messi dressed in pink, playing in Miami, the Pink City, with the logo of two flamingos. We can see the flamingo symbolism in the Rongo Rongo culture. We also have flamingos in the new Wonka movie. And Wonka is also a movie about the plasma apocalypse, and we can also see this pink color. On this slide we can see a large beam of light and two cakes with the shape of pines on each side. They represent the same thing as in Barbie, the two flamingos. They are the anode and the cathode. This anode and cathode are also represented as pines in Back to the Future, and they are the two magnetic mountains on each side of Mount Meru. These two mountains are represented in many different ways according to many different cultures. Here we can see that the Miami Football Club logo, with the two flamingos, is very similar to this piece of art of the Minoan culture. Here in Bolivia, in Tiahuanaco, we have the staff god holding two rods. And sometimes they are represented by snakes. And sometimes they are represented by different animals, like lions. And here we have two mystic creatures. So let's go back to the flamingos. Those birds belong to the family Phenicopteridae. So this word, of course, has the same root as phoenix. So this suggests the phoenix event. Also, the word flamingo has the word flame in it, and flamingos are like flame in goes. So I decided to check if there were other movies with flamingos, and I found that Disney, of course, portrayed some. Flamingos are pink and they have to do with plasma, and this bird here reminds me of this. And basically it represents plasma tentacles. There are also flamingos in Alice in Wonderland, and the Queen of Hearts uses a flamingo as a cricket mallet. And in my last video we saw that Barbara represented the Queen of Hearts. This is why we have this symbolism in Barbie too. And the other movie I found is this one, called Pink Flamingos, from 1972. The main character is a drag queen called Divine. Now, the interesting thing is that he lives in a trailer on the outskirts of Phoenix, Maryland. And outside the trailer, there's only a gazing bowl and flamingos. The names of the places and of the characters are carefully chosen to give us a message. Phoenix refers to the coming Phoenix event. Maryland is the land of Mary, and it represents our world as Mary represents the earth. Divine represents the androgyne self-fertilizing system. This is why the character is a trans. He's wearing a red dress, and this can represent blood, and probably refers to the red sky. The pink plasma will come to kill during the Phoenix event. The fact that Divine is a criminal says it all. Why should they name a criminal Divine? And another very interesting fact is that in the description of the movie they say, like a septic tank explosion, it has to be seen to be believed. Septic tank explosion, of course, reminds me of all the work I had done about the sewer. You will find a lot of this topic in my video about the Mockingjay. And many movies point out that there is something very evil lurking from the sewer. One of them is It the Killer Clown. In this movie we see evil in the sewer, and then explosions, and finally fire. And here we have the 88 connection from the newspapers in this movie. And 88 is element radium that we saw in the Plasma Apocalypse video. Note that it appears with a red balloon, and this probably represents the red sky. The second Ghostbusters movie also shows evil in the sewer. They show this pink slime flowing in the sewer like a river. And this slime is sentient and evil. And it forms tentacles, plasma tentacles. In the movie, they refer to negative energy. The pink slime is linked to this evil entity called Vigo, and he enters this reality through a painting, and on this painting you can see the river of slime, and he calls himself the Sorrow of Moldova. The sorrow is linked to the Lady of Sorrows, and it is linked to the Virgin Mary. In the photo lab, the pictures suddenly ignited. This shows that this pink slime, that is the plasma, has to do with the ignition of fire. Here we can see that he represents death, as he is wearing skulls on his outfit. And here we can also see the 8-pointed star connection. I spoke a lot about the 8-pointed star in my video about the plasma apocalypse, and we saw that this 8-pointed star is the star of chaos, and it has to do with the Phoenix event. Here we can see that this slime conducts electricity. This is electricity that we can see here. Here we can see Vigo opening his mouth, and this light appears. There is a flash and it turns pink. And then magenta pink comes out of his mouth, and all the Ghostbusters receive an electrical discharge. Here we can see Vigo transferring himself through this pink plasma in order to possess the body of this baby. Here we can see this pink plasma coming out of the sewer and getting inside this yellow cab through the exhaust pipe. The man who got inside the cab gave this address: Columbia Building, 57th Street. 57 matches element lanthanum that we saw in my Plasma Apocalypse video. It's also the number of the Truman Show. And to me, this is the Phoenix element, because it means easily burns when ignited. And it also shows fire through a lens. Here we can see the pink plasma over the dome. And here we can see the dome breaking. This magenta plasma was also represented in the first Ghostbusters movie. And this is when all the monsters invaded the city. Now coming back to this evil in the sewer, we have the sewer being 35 in Chaldean, matching cyclotron, simulation, and evil entity. So this confirms that something evil is in the sewer. And 35 matches element bromine, that means stench, which is logical for the sewer. So that's all for now. This magenta plasma seems to be linked to a negative paranormal activity and entities, according to many movies. Thank you for watching. Bye. If you like the content of this channel, please consider becoming a Patreon or supporting my work with PayPal. Decoding and investigating is indeed a full-time job, and you have no idea the amount of work there is behind to make a video like this one you just watched.